So welcome dear devotees for our morning Bhagavatam session. We are reading from Canto number 1, chapter number 13. When we reflect on our own self, an opportunity to grow. It gives an opportunity to redirect our actions, our behavior in a better way. At Mount Everest, and he says, I will come and conquer you again. I will come again and conquer you because as a mountain, you cannot grow, but as a human, I can grow. In 2009, and then this was 2014. In 5 years, the same person, created WhatsApp and sold WhatsApp to Facebook for 19 billion US dollars. 19 billion. Hate the sin, not the sinners of devotees, and we need to let devotees help us. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So welcome dear devotees for our morning Bhagavatam session. We are reading from Canto number 1, chapter number 13. Today we are going to start from text number 35. The title of this chapter is Dhritarashtra Quits Home. Yesterday in our discussion, we saw that how Dhritarashtra leaves the palace and without telling anyone. And Yudishtir Maharaj is thinking, he's talking to Sanjaya, he's thinking that is it something what I have done? Maybe I have not treated them well. Maybe it was my behavior that caused Vidura, Dhritarashtra, and Gandhari to move out of the palace. So we had a good discussion, good reflection, and one question came to our WhatsApp group that if we think that it's always our fault, if we think that it was my mistake, then it's like blaming our own self. And that way, we will feel more miserable because अगर हर बार हम ऐसा ही करेंगे कि मेरी ही गलती हो गई, मेरे से ही कुछ गलत हो गया, then it's a very bad situation actually if we feel like that. So the learning point from this particular pastime, this particular discussion of Bhagavatam is when we reflect on our own self, when we are reflecting on our own self, that's not for blaming or that's not for putting our own self down, but when we reflect on our own self, it gives an opportunity to grow. It gives an opportunity to redirect our actions, our behavior in a better way. I can tell you the example when Sir Edmund Hillary, the New Zealand adventurer, the mountaineer, he climbs lots of mountains. He was going here and there and everywhere. Very great adventurer person. And when he tried to climb Mount Everest first, Sir Edmund Hillary failed to climb Mount Everest in his first attempt. And when he failed, he looks at Mount Everest and he says, I will come and conquer you again. I will come again and conquer you because as a mountain, you cannot grow, but as a human, I can grow. Very profound words. May not be exact words what he used, but very profound. There are a lot of banners, motivational quotes circulating, which shows that as a human being, we have an opportunity to grow. We have an opportunity to uplift ourselves. And we have an opportunity when we reflect on our own self, we can become a better version of ourselves. हम जो भी है, जहां पे भी है, जैसी भी परिस्थिति में है, हम अपने आप को आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं. We can grow. We can become a better person. We can become a better version of our own self. There are many examples in practical life also. If you know the story of the Brian Acton, one person goes for an interview on Facebook in 2009. He goes for an interview in a Facebook. He fails the interview. He comes back. failed in the interview, he comes back, posts a tweet on the Twitter. Went for an interview. It was a great opportunity, but I failed the interview. I failed. He writes in the Twitter, I failed the interview. Then, sometime later, he goes on Twitter and he applies for a job. He was called for an interview and then he was not selected. He failed another interview. The same person, he goes back on the Twitter, writes the message. Went for an interview in Facebook, failed the interview. It was so good opportunity. He goes back again. Went for an interview in Twitter, failed in 2009. And before that, he was in Yahoo. He left Yahoo as well. So उधर से भी गया, इधर से भी गया, Twitter में भी गया. Nowhere it selected. But in 2009, and then this was 2014. In 5 years, the same person created WhatsApp and sold WhatsApp to Facebook for 19 billion US dollars. 19 billion. So what we learn from this is situations in life. When we reflect on our own self, idhar se bhi gaya, idhar se bhi gaya, that gives an opportunity for us to grow. That gives us an opportunity to make a better version. And then we come back, कुछ failure भी हुआ है तो भी इतना अच्छी तरह से उसका fight back करेंगे. And this is what we learn from this. Yudishtir Maharaj, reflecting, whether I have done something wrong to Dhritarashtra, is that why he left? And looking at that, thinking of that, we can improve our own self. We can grow our own self. And that is what the lesson from yesterday's talk is. With the interest of time, we have to move further. Text number 35, we will start. We will be meeting soon for our personal get-together. So if you have any questions like this, we can discuss in person in detail where there are more timings. Text number 35. Suta Uvacha Kripaya Sneha Vaiklavyat Suto Viraha Karshita Atmeshwaram Achakshano Na Pratyahati Pidita. Anumataji, you have Bhagavatam ready?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. English translation.
Hare Krishna. Suta Goswami said, because of compassion and mental agitation, Sanjaya, do not having seen his own master Dhritarashtra, was aggrieved and could not properly reply to Maharaj Yudhisthira.
देखो क्या हो रहा है इधर. Suta Goswami is speaking. He is telling, because of compassion and mental agitation, Sanjaya, not having seen his own master, Sanjaya ने धृतराष्ट्र को देखा नहीं पैलेस में. Yudhishthir Maharaj comes, and that's why he could not even properly reply. जवाब ही नहीं दे इसका. Yudhishthir Maharaj is asking, have you seen my uncle? Where did he go? And he can't even respond. Actually, Sanjaya was a very great associate of Dhritarashtra. He was a Sarthi, he was a chariot driver, he was a minister, he was an advisor. And we see even in Bhagavad Gita, Sanjaya is speaking to narrating this whole Bhagavad Gita to Dhritarashtra. So he was very close. और उसको भी नहीं बताया. He didn't. अगर देखा जाए ना तो if you the details are there in Mahabharata. Bhagavatam, this is only a summary, because when Parikshit Maharaj, he had only 7 days left. Sukdev Goswami is speaking, so there was not much time. So only summary is given. But in Mahabharata, the pastime of this, Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Pandavas, all the details are mentioned. In this particular situation, what we are discussing is after the birth of Parikshit Maharaj. It is mentioned in Mahabharata, there were about 35 years. Parikshit Maharaj was growing and Yudhishthir Maharaj was ruling the world. About 35 years is mentioned. And while after that, this Vidura comes back from the pilgrimage. When Vidura comes back from the pilgrimage, he is very thin. He is very weak. And that's why Yudhishthir Maharaj is asking, how did you survive? What did you eat? But Vidura is thin because he was staying amongst the sages. He was doing a very tapasvi life. He was performing austerity because he met a lot of rishis. He loved to hear from rishis. And Maitreya Rishi, especially, he got spiritually enlightened. And then when he comes back to the palace, we saw how before a couple of days that how he used He talks nicely to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj giving him elevated seat, nice welcoming. All the family members are sitting. Then after few days, again, when they all sit together in the Sabhagrah, in the assembly hall, if you see the kings, if you visit Rajasthan anytime, you see the how big palaces the kings have. And this is only 400-500 years back. These kings used to have this very grand palace. We are talking about 5,000 years back here. And this those kings, they were kings of certain region like Jaipur or Udaipur or Ajmer or like a certain region. But here Yudhishthir Maharaj was a king of the whole world. So imagine his grand palace. Everything is nicely described in Mahabharata. That how there was beautiful lakes, ponds in front of the palaces where there were lotus were blooming. There were beautiful flowers, lots of maid servants, fountains, parks, birds were chirping. Very beautiful description. And this particular time when Vidura comes back from pilgrimage, Yudhishthir Maharaj is living a very royal life in the palace. Unka khud ka palace tha. It is mentioned quarter, but he has his big palace. And in that palace, um, there were hundreds of maid servants. Gandhari was staying together. There were hundreds of servants. Abhi, I was talking to Puja Mata's sister in Mumbai. In today's day, also, she said, I have 6 or 7 maid servants at home. एक कपड़ा करता है, एक गाड़ी साफ करता है, one person is cooking, one person is cleaning. In Mumbai also, in these days, people have 6, 7 servants. We are talking, 5,000 years back. We are talking long time back, and this is the king of the whole world, Yudhishthir Maharaj. So Dhritarashtra had more than 100 maid servants, and they were all looking after them nicely. So, and also on top of that, it is mentioned in Mahabharata that those kings from all around the world, those who were coming to meet Yudhishthir Maharaj and Pandavas to pay their tributes, मिलने आते थे, some donation लाते थे, all of them, they were going to meet Dhritarashtra as well in his own palace. So वो वहां भी जाते थे. All the kings, the ministers, they used to go and meet Dhritarashtra in his own palace. All the Pandavas were taking nice care of Dhritarashtra, except for Bhim. भीम के मन में भी अभी वो था, इसके बच्चों ने ये किया है. And Dhritarashtra also had a little bit of uncomfortableness towards Bhim, but everyone else, he had a very nice relationship. So the Pandavas were taking care of Dhritarashtra, hundreds of maid servants, having his own palace, living with Gandhari. Beautiful detailed description is given, and Sanjaya was also taking care, staying along with Dhritarashtra. It is mentioned here. Now, what happened when Vidura gives these harsh instructions to Dhritarashtra? Dhritarashtra doesn't speak anything. He just bows his head down, and from the assembly hall, वो सभागृह होता है जहाँ पे, and this particular discussion, it is mentioned again in Mahabharata that it happened. The harsh words Vidura spoke in front of everyone, and then Dhritarashtra did not respond. Dhritarashtra just bows his head down and walks from that assembly hall to his palace. He goes to his palace, followed by Gandhari, and Vidura also goes. And when they go to Dhritarashtra's palace, in there, Vidura, Gandhari, and Dhritarashtra, they talk in between together, and they decide next full moon night. एकदम से next day morning नहीं चले जाते. Next full moon night, we will leave the palace. वो पूरा plan बता देते हैं. And then I'm just looking at the time. And then what happens? Yudhishthir, Dhritarashtra Maharaj sends a message to Yudhishthir कि अभी विदुरा का जो इंस्ट्रक्शन था, I want to spend time meditating. मुझे ये सब किंग्स लोग आते थे, मिलने आते थे, whenever they come to pay tribute, you are sending all of them, all these maid servants. I don't want all this. I want peaceful, quiet time so that I can meditate nicely. So at that time, only couple of maid servants and Sanjaya was there in the palace. They were together, but Yudhishthir Maharaj was not coming to meet Dhritarashtra in his quarter. No kings were coming, and they were all It is said in Mahabharata about 2 to 3 months passed. Yudhishthir Maharaj was not going. Dhritarashtra and Vidura and Gandhari, they were in their quarters without any communication. He wanted to have a quiet time, peaceful and meditation. And Yudhishthir Maharaj was thinking that he is living nicely, comfortably meditating on his palace. But one particular morning, which is what we are discussing today, is one particular morning. That day was Shraddh ceremony, the annual Shraddh of Dhritarashtra's 100 sons. क्योंकि उस time पे वो killed. So the Shraddh ceremony came. So Yudhishthir Maharaj thought, okay, I have given meditate and peacefulness, quiet time to Dhritarashtra. He is not coming out. But today is a Shraddha ceremony. A performance of rituals are there. Sure, Dhritarashtra and Gandhari would come to attend. And that's why Yudhishthir Maharaj goes there. At that particular time, when Yudhishthir Maharaj goes to the palace, see, the servants are not there, the kings are not there, only couple of maid servants, and Sanjaya was there. So Sanjaya, even in this place, he was a very close associate of Dhritarashtra. And that's why if you read the translation again, it will make sense in the full context that because of the compassion and the mental agitation, Sanjaya, not having seen his own master, Dhritarashtra, was aggrieved and could not even reply. Because Sanjaya, मैं तो उनके साथ था. मुझे तो अभी बताया भी नहीं. I was alone, I was with him all the time, but he didn't even mention. There is a beautiful learning lesson also in this particular pastime, but we will see that in the next verse. Because 36, there is no purport. Kusiko Karna, anyone? Radhika Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. विम्रज्याश्रुनिपानेभ्यां विष्टभ्यात्मनम् आत्मना अजातशत्रुं प्रत्युचे प्रभोपादाव अनुस्मरन्. Translation. First, he slowly pacified his mind by intelligence and whipping away his tears and thinking of the feet of his master Dhritarashtra, he began to reply to Maharaj Yudhishthira. Hare Krishna.
क्या होता है Sanjaya when he didn't see Yudhishthir Maharaj in the palace? Sorry, Dhritarashtra in the palace. He slowly, he was wiping his tears. He was in full of tears. He was thinking of his master Dhritarashtra. And then Yudhishthir Maharaj is asking, have you seen them? Where are they? And he starts replying. So what these emotions we see by Sanjaya, it shows his love and affection. If you see Vidura also having love and affection to Dhritarashtra. Here we see Sanjaya also having love and affection to Dhritarashtra. If we see Yudhishthir Maharaj, Arjuna, the Pandavas, they also had love and affection with Dhritarashtra. Dekho, everyone knows, we also know that how adharmic, what kind of activities Dhritarashtra was performing. Sanjaya also knew that Dhritarashtra was an adharmic king. He has done so much wrong to Pandavas, to Draupadi, so many atrocities, so many wrong things he was doing. And in Bhagavad Gita also, Sanjaya speaks 41 verses. Many times before the war, he was telling to Dhritarashtra, ye galat ho raha hai, tell your sons they shouldn't do things. Even in Bhagavad Gita, during he mentions when Virat Rup is being described, he says, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he knew it. This war has no chance. Pandavas will win because Krishna is on their side. He writes that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, showed the Virat Rupa, the universal form. And he was instructing again and again. So, the important learning lesson from this, Sanjaya knew Dhritarashtra was a dharmic king, but having love and affection to Dhritarashtra. Vidura knew Dhritarashtra was doing wrong, but had love and affection to Dhritarashtra. Pandavas, itna kuch karne ke baad bhi, they had love and affection, nicely taking care, given him his own palace, maid servants taking care of Dhritarashtra. So what do we learn from this, dear devotees? बहुत ही important learning lesson आता है. And there is a very popular saying in English as well, that hate the sin, not the sinners. Hate the sin, not the sinners. Everyone knew ये जो चीजें हो रही थी वो सब बुरा था, but they hate the bad things, not the person himself. And that is very important learning lesson for us, that when we meet people with bad habits, हमारे भक्ति वृक्षा में कई बार लोग आते हैं, and then people tell me, I have a friend but he is eating meat. We can hate the meat eating mentality, but we can't hate that person. That person can be our best friend. We can have love and affection to that person. We can hate that bad habits or something wrong a person has done. We can hate that activity, but not that person. Hate the sin, not the sinners. And this is what we see from this particular pastime, कि किसी का भी कुछ बुरा है, we don't have to judge the person. ठीक है, if someone has done something wrong, we can have a problem with that issue, we can have that situation we don't like, no problem with that. But the person is part and parcel of Krishna. We can, yeah, we can have the loving affection with that person, and that is one. Sometimes some habits. This is very helpful when we meet some new people. As a devotees, we go out, we meet many people. How we can have nice and loving exchanges, affection with everyone, even though they might have so many wrong habits, bad habits, doing something wrong, but we can still have a good relationship with them. So that is very important learning lesson from text number 36. Someone raised hand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, then pronounce. Aniruddha Pentacle. Prabhuji, I had a query with this, which is that Sanjaya is a devotee and he is the servant of a person who's doing adharma. So, if he would have left his job and said, I'm not working for you, I will work for somebody else who's
Association.
Yeah, what is the obligation for him to keep working under a person who's doing wrong things? And he can't help it also. Like he can't do, and he's a servant. He has to just listen and even help him doing the wrong things also.
I think that's what I answered. He has the loving affection with the person. Of course, he knows that this is all the wrong things, but out of his duty, he was Sanjaya was a disciple of Vyasdev. So he knew all this spiritual knowledge. He was very highly spiritual elevated person. So even though a person, हम भी देखते हैं ना, Prabhupada, you see from Prabhupada life, so many, when he went to America, all his people were taking drugs and people were smoking and all these people, but Srila Prabhupada with his own hands, he was cooking for them. He was cooking gulab jamuns and khichdi and roti, and he was feeding them. And after everyone left, उनको कुछ पता ही नहीं था, वो आते थे खा के चले जाते. Srila Prabhupada used to clean all the dishes. Srila Prabhupada used to clean all the utensils, kitchen and everything. Of course, we read from Leelamrita and everything and अच्छा लगता है, but would we ever cook? हम अगर जाते हैं, कोई जंकी हिप्पी रास्ते में ड्रग लेके कोई पड़ा है, हम घर पे उसके लिए गुलाब जामुन बना के उनको देंगे क्या कभी? Think about how many times people are even in Bhakti Vriksha, people don't want to cook sometimes, busy her life. Here, Prabhupada is showing the example that we can have loving affection, and that loving affection changes the person. अभी देखते हैं ना पांडवा विदुरा, the Vidura comes and that love and affection change the person. That gives the transformation, and that is very important. ठीक है, let's move on. Time is very short with the interest of time. 37.
Can I ask one question? This is Sudeep, Prabhuji.
We will do after 10 minutes, Prabhu. Hold on to
Okay.
your question. Write down so you don't forget. But
Yeah.
let's move couple of verses with the interest of time. Sanjaya, text number 37 we are doing. Sanjaya uvacha naham veda vyavasitam pitrurvah kulanandana gandharya va mahabaho mushitosmi mahatmabhi. Very, very nice, very important verse. Rohit Prabhu, you want to read English translation?
Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Sanjaya said, My dear descendant of the Kuru dynasty, I have no information of the determination of your two uncles and Gandhari. O king, I have been cheated by those great souls. Hare Krishna.
Sanjay is saying, I have been cheated by these great souls. I have been cheated. Why cheated? Because उसको पता है नहीं. साथ में रहते थे पैलेस में, लेकिन full moon night they just left without telling him. So he is telling, I have no information and determination. This time what happened? अभी हमको पता है. Sanjaya also instructed many times, Vidura also instructed many times, Krishna also instructed Dhritarashtra many times. But this particular time, when Vidura comes back into the palace, when Vidur comes back into the palace and he opens the door of the palace, that means this time Dhritarashtra opens the door of the heart for Vidura. He opens the ears, he opens the heart, and let Vidura help him. Welcoming in the palace, but on top of that, welcoming in the heart. That means not only welcoming person Vidura, but welcoming his instructions, Vidura's instructions in the heart of Dhritarashtra. Before also many times this has happened, but this particular time, this particular instance, धृतराष्ट्र let Vidura to help him. उन्होंने सुना, समझा और act किया according to the instruction of Vidura. In devotee's life, we also see similarity that people think that I don't need a guide. I am fine. Whatever I am doing, that's fine. मुझे किसी की क्या जरूरत है? I am happy. I can live my life. I have enough skills. I have enough knowledge. I don't need someone. And if I need, मैं भगवान के साथ direct. I pray and I can live. I don't need a guide. I don't need the help of any other person. I don't need a guru. On top of that, sometimes people even have a guru. उन्होंने दीक्षा लिया है और शिक्षा गुरु एक्सेप्ट किया है. People have a guru. So there are three types of people. First type of person is they think I don't need a guru. I don't need a guide. I don't need a guru, and they live their life in their own way. Second type of person is they have a guru, they have a guide, but they don't take guidance. उनको कुछ पूछते ही नहीं, उनका कुछ मानते ही नहीं, अपने हिसाब से करेंगे होने के बाद भी. And we see that many times people come in Bhakti Vriksha or people come to temple, they go, they sit, they listen, but they do whatever they want. They don't take guidance. वो अपने आप करेंगे, सब कुछ करेंगे. They don't even, that is one kind of, that is second type of person. And the third type of person is they know कि मुझे guidance चाहिए, मुझे I need some help. But what they would do, they are the honeybee type. इधर भी जाएंगे, उधर से guidance लेंगे, उधर भी जाएंगे, उधर से भी लेंगे, इधर भी जाएंगे, उधर से भी लेंगे. They will go here, there, everywhere, and whatever they like, they will do. उनको जो अच्छा लगता है, इधर कोई बोलेंगे सुबह उठ के माला करनी चाहिए, then they will go to other person, other guide, other devotee, and वो devotee बोलेंगे ठीक है, if you have busy life you can chant at night, no problem. So then they will go to that person. अरे इन्होंने बोला है ना, good, perfect. Then they will go, okay, प्रसाद में खाना चाहिए. Then he will go to another person. It's okay if you're traveling. ठीक है, कभी कभी कुछ खा लिया बाहर. Then he will go to another person. So this is the third type of person where he will go to multiple gurus, get multiple guidance, and only take wherever there is a sweet words are, like honey bee. Bee, जहाँ पे भी मीठा मिलता है, वो ले लेंगे honey. In the same way, these are different types of people. But here, what we see in this particular instance is even though it was a harsh words, Dhritarashtra let Vidura enter his heart, enter his mind, and he acted on that. And that is what we have to learn from this one. No matter whatever the instructions are there, we need help. हमें help चाहिए. And if it's our responsibility to let the devotees help us. If we allow them, then they can help us. But if we create like a barrier, if we stay away, and if we don't take a guidance, even if they are saying us so many times, so many things, mala karo, ye karo, seva karo, but if we don't open the door, then it will not help. And we see this from Dhritarashtra, Vidura past time. Even though many times the instruction was given, लेकिन दिल का दरवाजा बंद रखा था, कान भी बंद रखे थे. He was not listening, he was not ready to accept in the heart. But this particular time, when Vidura comes, opening the door, he opened the heart as well. And that is what we have to learn. We have to understand, we have to come to the point that we need help of devotees, and we need to let devotees help us. Very important. And not like a honeybee, idhar bhi jayenge, idhar bhi jayenge. Many times within ISKCON as well, people listen to this Babaji, people listen to this Prabhuji, Guruji, Swamiji, Maharajji, in here, in Vrindavan, in here, udhar, itna hazar type. We have to be loyal to Srila Prabhupada. As a Hare Krishna person, as a ISKCON devotee, Prabhupada has given us so much. It's not, I can tell you, it's not enough for our one lifetime. इतना कुछ हमारे पास है. इधर भी सुनेंगे, जो अच्छा लगेगा वो करेंगे, तो where we will end up? We have to be loyal to Prabhupada. And the second thing here, Sanjaya is saying, I have been cheated by this soul. Why cheated? Why? क्यों बताया नहीं? And why it is fair? Because Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Vidura, they were going for a spiritual enlightenment. वो भक्ति में आगे बढ़ने जा रहे थे. इसलिए little bit of cheating without telling, they go. If it's for the spirituality, if it's for the progress of spirituality, little bit cheating is okay. हम देखते हैं ना हमारे even Krishna has done so many times. We see that how Ashwathama did. Krishna is telling to Yudhishthira that Ashwathama is dead, the elephant, and he does little bit of cheating there. Many times we see that in front of Bhishma, वो अर्जुन को बोलता है कि शिखंडी को खड़ा कर दो. When Shikhandi is sending, Bhishma will not shoot an arrow, and then you at that time you shoot an arrow. Jayadratha को मारने के time पे, the next day Abhimanyu got killed. Jayadratha को मारना था. Arjuna took a vow that I will kill Jayadratha, otherwise I will kill myself. Arjun took a vow, and then the whole Kuru army, they arranged in such a way. Jayadratha was in the back, and everyone is in the front, and Arjuna couldn't reach. So what Krishna did was he faked the sunset. He rearranged in such a way the sun and everything, it was dark, and all the Kauravas and everyone thinks, oh, the time is that sunset time. That means Arjuna didn't fulfill the vow that if Jayadratha is not killed by sunset, I will kill my own self. So what Krishna did, he faked the sunset, and then it was dark, sunset ho gaya, and then everyone is rejoicing. Jayadratha ekdam se bahar aata hai, and he said, yes, I am safe now, sunset has happened. And Krishna immediately brings up the sun again. फिर से सन बाहर आता है. Very nice pastime is that. I have recently told in my Bhakti Vriksha as well. Sunset, sun बाहर आता है, and it tells Arjuna, जल्दी उसको मारो अभी, फिर से sun हो गया. And then actual sunset happens. So he does, Krishna does many. Even Karna, जब उसका wheel stuck हो गया था ground में, and then Krishna, as a fair combat rule of the army, Karna says, you can't hit now. But Krishna says, मार दो अभी कर्ण को. As like so many different. Even in Bhakti Vriksha, we do. किसी को बोलते हैं कि 5 मिनट सेवा कर लो. We know that's a 30-minute service. मैं मंदिर में जाता हूँ, उसको बोलता हूँ 5 मिनट थोड़ा help कर दोगे क्या? And that happens for 30, 40, sometimes after 2 hours, person is serving, cutting vegetables on Janmashtami every time. But little bit of cheating for the spiritual enlightenment, spiritual benefit, ठीक है, चलता है. It is okay because it's for the ultimate good. We tell sometimes a person, एक माला कर दो, सब life is good, successful हो जाएगा. Then slowly पता चलता है 6 महीने बाद तो वो 10 राउंड 12 राउंड पे आ जाता है. So a little bit of cheating is okay. When it's for the spiritual benefit, it's fine. चलो, 704, 38, 39 and 40, it's a continuation. There is not much because कौन फटाफट पढ़ सकता है? Krishna Prabhu, you can do Sanskrit, and Satish Prabhu can do translation.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Atha jagama bhagavan narada sahatambura pratyuthaya vibhavidayaha sanujo abhyarchayan munim.
Bimal Prabhu,
Hare
English
Krishna.
translation.
Yeah, translation. While Sanjaya was thus speaking, Sri Narada, the powerful devotee of the Lord, appeared on the scene carrying his tumbaru. Maharaj Yudishtir and his brothers received him properly by getting up from their seats and offering obeisances. Hare Krishna.
So what's happening? When Sanjay was speaking like this, कि मुझे पता नहीं है, they have cheated me, they left without telling me, Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Vidura चले गए, and he was wiping his tears. At that time, Narad Muni appears to help them. Narad Muni's appearance is especially to help Yudhishtir Maharaj. He will enlighten. Before, when Yudhishtir Maharaj was sad, Bhishma Dev, Krishna took him to Bhishma Dev, and Bhishma Dev enlightened him, pacified him. And Nabhivi, when Yudishtir Maharaj is thinking himself as the cause of Dhritarashtra and everyone leaving the palace, he said, Narad Muni comes and helps him. Anshul Prabhu, 39. And Aruna Mataji, read the English.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna all devotees Dandavat Pranam. Yudhishthir Uvacha Naham Veda Gatim Pitror Bhagavan Kwa Gata Viha Amba Vahata Putrartha Kwa Gata Cha Tapasvini. Hare Krishna. Maharaj Yudhishthira said, O godly personality, I do not know where my two uncles have gone, nor can I find my ascetic aunt who is grief-stricken by the loss of all her sons. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So when Narad Muni appears, Yudhishthir Maharaj is asking, I do not know where my two uncles have gone. मुझे पता नहीं है क्या कहाँ चले गए. And also Gandhari, she is grief stricken. Where did she go? Yudhishthir Maharaj is asking to Narad Muni. And the last one for today, number 40. Anyone?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I read?
Yes. And English as well.
Yes, 40. Hare Krishna. कर्णधार इवापारे भगवान् पारदर्शकः अथा बभाष्यो भगवान् नारदो मुनिसप्तमः. Can I read the translation as well, Prabhu?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. You are like a captain of a ship in a great ocean, and you can direct us to our destination. Thus addressed the godly personality, Devrishi Narad, greatest of the philosopher devotee, began to speak. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, Yudhishthir Maharaj is asking questions to Narad Muni that you are like a captain of a ship in a great ocean and you can direct us. आप मुझे बताओ. Thus addressed, the godly personality Devrishi Narada starts to respond. क्या बोला नारद जी ने युधिष्ठिर महाराज को? We will see tomorrow. So the next verse from tomorrow, it will start. Narada Uvacha, Narad Muni said, it will start. And वो क्या बोलते हैं? We will see tomorrow. Okay, we will stop here. Very beautiful pastime. Sudeep Prabhu, I think you are going to ask something.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I was wondering, the action of Vidura and Drona and Bhishma, were they out of love, or what I understood where they were out of duty bound because they were the ministers in their cabinet of Dhritarashtra. So they were not, even though their love was more toward the Pandavas, but they went helpless. That's what I understood.
Yes, very important. Exactly. Duty is very important. जो धर्म है, जो काम करना है, that is very important. We see in Bhagavad Gita also. Arjuna did not want to kill, Bhishma or brothers or all the other sides. Arjuna did not want to kill. But whatever is duty, Krishna says, do your duty. This is your duty to fight and kill them. So even though अच्छा लगता है, अच्छा नहीं लगता, but the duty is more important. And this is the instruction for devotees, all of us as well. In terms of our work life, even though अच्छा लगता है, अच्छा नहीं लगता है, but it's our duty. We are in a grihastha ashram. We have to take care of family. We have to go to work. We have to take care of our finance. We have to do. This is our duty, and it applies to devotees also. That sometimes people say, I don't like, मुझे सुबह जल्दी उठना, माला करना, reading Bhagavatam करना, I don't like. But this is our duty. All the duty for the body and the duty for the soul. Two dharmas we saw in the second chapter, the last section of Bhagavad Gita. Bodily duties must be performed and the soul duty must be performed. So जो माला करना है, सेवा करना है, भक्तों का संग करना है, भागवतम रीड करना है, भक्ति वृक्षा में जाना है, मंदिर में दर्शन करना है, that is all the duty of our soul. We have to perform that, even though we like or we don't like. And the duty of a body is take care of a family, take care of our own self, take care of our finance, take care of our health. All these things, they are duty of a body. Both two dharmas, both must be performed. This Krishna explained in the second chapter, the last few verses of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. All right, with the interest of time, we have to stop here. Let's join tomorrow and see what Narad Muni is responding to Yudhishthir Maharaj's questions. क्या बोला? And how did Yudishtir Maharaj continues from this pastime, we will see tomorrow.
Hare Krishna.
Granth Raj
Krishna.
Srimad
Thank you,
Bhagavatam ki
Prabhupada.
jai,
Hare
Jagat Guru
Krishna,
Hare
Srila
Prabhuji, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Prabhupada ki jai.
devotees.
Jai. Jai Shri Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to all the new. We have seen some new devotees coming, so thank you so much for joining. Welcome. We have all the previous recording in the YouTube channel as well. So if someone wants to hear last 2 or 3 sessions of the recording, so that you can come into the continuity of what pastime we are discussing. So just check our YouTube link. And one important announcement is I see so many people sharing the points. Try to not repeat what someone has done above. That way you will read what people have done above, and then please try to have something else. Otherwise it will be repeating of the same points in the group for 3 or 4 times. Okay, try to do some unique if possible. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.